Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to um, our intro webinar to Inner Child. Just as wonderful as this music has made you feel, this is what, in summary, the 4 sessions of the Inner Child workshop is going to make you feel. So I'm going to go straight into it, and I'm going to introduce Monica, for those of you who have never met her. She is a beautiful, warm, kind, loving energy. And not only that, she has a really amazing background behind her. She is a systemic therapist, family constellations trainer, and holistic practitioner. Now, she's been guiding people through deep healing work for 2 decades. She's originally from Poland and now she's based in Southeast Asia, or Kuala Lumpur. She specializes in uncovering and resolving transgenerational trauma, a lot of intergenerational trauma through family constellations and other therapeutic modalities. She is also the founder of Heart Sanctuary in Kuala Lumpur, where she trains facilitators and leads transformational workshops worldwide. So I am also a student of Monica, and she is not only an amazing person, but she is a great teacher. And I have done this workshop before, and I wanted to bring this because it created such an impact in my life. It is such a beautiful, beautiful workshop.
I think we
Hello.
unmuted myself twice. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much, Maisha, for inviting me. I'm here for the second time, I think, or third time with you, and really, really happy to be here to share a little bit about what I do, how I do it, and what can we create together. So now I see just myself really big on that screen. Do you want me like this, or do you want to come with me so that we are together here?
Yes, let's have a little chat. Hang on a second. I was trying to escape being on the spotlight, but I shall add you. Okay. I'll add myself.
Wonderful.
Hello. Okay.
Hi, hi,
So
and
welcome.
yeah, and good evening, everyone. Really lovely to see you. I see some familiar names and some very very new, so I'm excited. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it didn't take much. As soon as I messaged our family constellation group, they were all like, registering and signing up because they know you, right? They
Yeah.
know and has they've experienced
Hmm.
amazing
Yeah.
changes and shifts since our sessions. So this is a little bit well, it's not really different. It kind of ties into the family constellation aspect of things, but we're specifically talking about inner children. So can you tell us a little bit about what, for somebody who doesn't really know anything about it and finds it very new. What is an inner child?
Yeah, so inner child is basically a part of us. So you know the easiest way to imagine is the little me or the little you, and it's not just one person, it's not just one child, but so nicely you said just before the inner children. So we have many many parts, and inner child is a part of a psyche, is a part of our soul that have been through certain experience in the childhood or in the teenage time, adolescent time, and the experience left certain imprint, and the imprint can be very very positive, so it can be very joyful and innocent experience, or the experience can be unpleasant and it may really leave a very unpleasant negative imprint in us. And based on that imprint, based on that experience in the childhood in the past, what do? We start creating our belief system. And I
Mm.
think, you work a lot
That's,
with belief
yes,
systems, right? In theta healing.
absolutely.
So this is where a lot of these things come from. Through our experiences, repeated experiences, or just one time experiences, not just in the childhood, it can be even prenatal during the pregnancy of our mother with us when there was a big impact, emotional impact on us, it may have created an experience that is still, in a way, active within us. And sometimes we are aware of it, and sometimes we are absolutely not aware of it. So, it's the mini me, the inner child is the mini me, but it's not just one. There can be many. I was just sharing with someone that I like to talk about a school bus of children or like a village house. In Malaysia, village is kampung, so it's like a kampung house with a lot of rooms, and each room is occupied by one inner child. So basically, one type of an experience, you can say, it is one program, one imprint, and we call it inner child.
Oh, beautiful. So we could have many versions of inner children within us, right?
Yeah.
And do they show up, or how do we know that it's an inner child that's reacting or triggered?
Oh, yeah, they show up every single day for many people, also for me. So anytime we get triggered, and now I say triggered usually with an unpleasant emotion. Like, for
Mm.
example, we are driving. I just came back from Manila. And I always complained about traffic in KL. Now, traffic in KL is wonderful in comparison to traffic in Manila. So we can get triggered just by someone cutting
Mm.
on the road, in the traffic jam. And we think, oh, it's this idiot, it's this person who is just cutting in, is careless. But actually, if we would dig deeper, we may find out that it's absolutely not about that person. It's not about that stranger who maybe is just driving fast because he needs to go to the hospital, bringing the mother for a checkup. I don't know. If we dig deeper, we may actually find out that we feel not important. He's
Mm.
cutting in because he doesn't care about us. And what is that situation that trigger our emotional response reminding us of? That's actually the clue.
Right.
So that can be just one of the triggers. And of
Mm.
course, having the favorite childhood ice cream is another trigger in a positive way because often there is a lot of joy coming with that. So these are
Yeah.
the positive things as well. And so
So
it
inner
shows up.
children can be positive and it can kind of show up
Absolutely.
negatively,
Yeah.
right? So it,
Yeah.
and when we want to explore and work on our inner children, it's harnessing the good and childlike energy, as
Yeah.
well as working on things that trigger us, right? Because sometimes we can throw tantrums as adults, right? And
Really?
that's an example of
Yeah.
inner children acting
Yeah.
up, right? So a tantrum or kind of overreacting or being dramatic could even be an inner child surfacing,
Yeah,
right?
often it is. Often it is. And especially in relationships, in couple relationships, I think this is the best stage to find out whether we truly are adults, emotionally mature adults, or if they are just 5 years old kids who are not even having a proper conversation, but having an argument. So we see that especially really in those close relationships a lot. So can be couple relationship, can be relationship with friends, And of course, as well in the work with the bosses, because sometimes the bosses are reminding us of our parents. And
Yeah.
this is where most of our triggers come from. They come from the childhood, and very often, not always, but very often, through our interaction with our parents
Right. And authority, like you mentioned,
and
right? Our
authority
interaction
figures,
with.
teachers, yeah, yeah, neighbors, yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, we've all experienced something like this that, I'm sure a lot of people here relate to that. And sometimes we're aware, right? But we still behave that way. Sometimes we're not aware, right? And we don't realize. I think, at this point, a lot of people here are very familiar with wanting to evolve and becoming more spiritual. So
Hmm.
I'm looking at the people who I know I'm behaving this way and I shouldn't, but I can't help myself,
Yeah.
right? You know who you are, guys, right?
Well, I'm like that too sometimes. I'm really one of the most stubborn person sometimes. So yeah,
So,
yeah, I get
so
this.
how do you, I mean, why is it that we cannot in that moment, right? Kind of wean back or like pull back and kind of realize, wait a minute, I'm behaving like a child, do you think?
I think it is, in a way, when we, how can I put it? When we drop into that state of being a child, the 5 years old, 10 years old, it really takes a lot of awareness, and the awareness has to be practiced. It
Mm,
doesn't come out of the blue. When it comes
yeah.
out of the blue, this is the difficulty to stay in that awareness. We are aware,
Mm,
and then we still allow ourselves to behave like a child.
yeah.
So we develop that practice every single day, and not only when we are being triggered, because that's the very difficult part. I mean, it is not easy to stay all the time in that adult self. And I don't think it's even recommended, because then we don't have fun too much. But it really requires the practice. And I was
Yeah.
just thinking about, we talk so much about healing in general,
Mm,
whether
mm,
constellation or theta healing or whatever healing we do. And healing is really pathway to wholeness, to
mm,
feel whole again. So
yeah.
I always imagine the inner child work or healing in such a way. Just when we go back to the past, childhood, something happened, we felt neglected, not seen, not heard. Maybe we felt like we are not important, not lovable. This part of us gets a little bit separated from the whole. I call it psyche, because it's not just the physical body, it's the nervous
Yeah.
system. It's just all our bodies. So when this gets separated, we are no more whole, isn't it?
Mm, yeah.
So when we start working with our inner children, we basically start bringing them back home. We
Mm,
start integrating them. And we cannot just do it, or in 4 week course or even 10-week course. We need to practice that a little bit every
yeah.
day, and especially when we feel good.
Mm,
Because when we feel good, then we are very present. We are in our adult self. And it's so much easier to start taking care of our inner child instead
yeah.
of waiting for exactly that trigger and then throwing a tantrum, because that's difficult. So,
Yeah.
in a way, through healing the inner child, we are going back to school, and we are relearning and re educating our body, our nervous system, our mind, everything, how to take care of ourselves, how to give that child what they didn't get before.
Yeah.
And that's basically how it works. And,
Yeah.
I see some people who have done the inner child workshop with me a few times, some of them, and they are practicing sometimes every day, sometimes every second day. But we get better and better and better. And that means we feel more whole. And what more spiritual is it than actually feeling whole in our
Yeah.
body,
Beautiful.
right? Yeah.
I love that example. And I want to kind of get back to what you said about, we can react, and then in that moment, obviously we cannot rein ourselves in or control, but the time that we can kind of see ourselves with compassion, I think that's the key,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
can be present, and we can just be curious and have compassion and no judgment. And that's where we can actually, you know, bring that child back in, right? Because when you feel judged, or you feel you're judging yourself in that moment, it's difficult for you to actually bring that piece back together and make it whole again. So I think
Yeah.
that's a beautiful example. And I like how you said, mentioned that, curiosity, compassion, and being present is really key of doing this. And so the more you are able, right, to make yourself, like, bring in these aspects of the inner children that sort of went astray a little bit, right? The more you are able to do that, then what happens? What do people usually experience?
So I just go back quickly because I really loved what you mentioned, that we do it without judgment. Now, let's just imagine, why do we judge ourselves? We didn't come with the idea to judge ourselves. No one baby is born and start judging themselves, right? It's like they are the most beautiful, the best babies ever. They are so full of themselves, actually. And the judgment always comes because we were judged. So just, getting like a loop that we give to ourselves, that compassion and validation and the love that sometimes we didn't receive.
Yeah.
Now, how does that change our life, our relationships? First of all, we become more grounded and more present. And
Mm,
when we are more present, we can make better decisions. We are not scattered. We are not like everywhere, nervous, and we don't know what to do. So we can make better decisions. We, this is the end aim in a way. We become more authentic. When
yes.
we really give ourselves the love that we deserve, because everyone deserves the love, then we start becoming who we really are. We
Mm,
stop pleasing people. We start putting healthy boundaries. Healthy,
yeah.
yeah? Not some boundaries that we absolutely don't want to have anything to do with people. And when we are okay with ourselves, when we are loving ourselves, we reflect it to the world.
Yeah.
And people also will love us more, and we will be more loving towards people. And to me, Maisha, what is the better way to bring peace in this world? Look
Yeah.
what's happening right now. These are actually children who are, playing war.
That's true.
Why?
Playing with guns and bombs, right?
Exactly, the real ones. And if and we know that if there would be a little bit more compassion from them to themselves and love, such things wouldn't happen. They wouldn't
Yeah.
happen. So, in my opinion, throughout all the experience that I've had through constellations and inner child healing, is we become more authentic. We start trusting ourselves more. We become more confident, but also more loving towards
Mhm.
ourselves and towards other people.
Yeah.
So for me, our heart
It's
gets
win,
bigger.
win, win, win.
It's
Yeah.
just win, win, win. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wanted to just share over the weekend. I mean, it was an Easter break here, so we went to this little kind of resort place, and I saw this woman and this mom. Okay, she had a 2-year-old kid, and she was hiding his car behind her hand. So I was like, and he was crying. This kid
Mm,
was really crying. And I felt so bad, right? I felt
yeah,
really bad. And then what she was saying is, because you didn't listen to me, I'm not
yeah,
going to give you this car because you didn't listen to me. Then the other parents around were like, yeah, you have to listen to your mom. Next time, listen to your mom. And I felt really bad. And it is only today when I
yeah.
realized that, of course, I'm in this kind of, I know the consequence of something like that. But even deeper than that, I probably had that experience where it happened to me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In which that's why it was just so, I was so emotionally charged by that experience that it connected and it clicked,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
the reason I want to bring this up is because sometimes it may not be that reaction that you're behaving or pulling a tantrum. It could be you're just really like um with empathy and compassion, you just feel a lot of feelings because maybe you did not have that, or you had the similar experience
Hmm.
to the individual.
And that's the awareness.
Mm,
And the
yeah,
moment we are aware about such things, we can change something, right? I mean,
yeah.
it's never too late. That's what I always say when I was a young mom, I was 25. I screw up my children, really. I'm like, oh gosh, I was so unaware and never wanted to repeat my parents' mistakes. And I didn't repeat the same. I just, created new
Made new
ones.
ones.
Created new ones. I was very creative. And when I became aware what I was doing, oh my gosh, I started unlearning for myself first.
Yeah,
But guess what? I could not change for my children. I had to change for myself first. Because
mm,
if I am judging myself, if I am comparing myself all the time to other people, if I am not feeling good enough, all that I will see is not good enoughness around me, especially in my children, because they are the best mirrors,
yeah,
the best mirrors. So,
mm,
that nagging and yeah, and that's example that you just said is beautiful because I'm sure that this released something within you somewhere,
mm,
even you may not be aware what it was. And I'm sure that nobody is perfect, so
yeah,
that taught you for the future as well. Okay, I need to pay attention, or at least this
yeah.
is what I'm getting from what you are sharing. I also need to pay attention. Yeah.
And I guess like what I did feel also is compassion towards this
Hmm.
poor kid, and
Yeah.
maybe like
Yeah.
I wanted that feeling for myself too, and
Mm.
which is
Yeah.
what was really nice. So you have an upcoming workshop, which I have already taken, which was incredible. Um, and it is a 4-week workshop. It's
Hmm.
Mondays from 7:30 to 9:30. Would you like to tell us how it's different to maybe any other inner child workshop or children workshop that people have done?
Hmm. Sure. So when I became aware that there is such thing as inner child, I think first time it was when I was learning constellations. We just set it up, the inner child and myself as the adult, but I wasn't aware yet how to work with it. And then at one point, I don't remember, I think I probably was listening to a meditation, inner child meditation, and I loved it on one side, and on another side, it was very challenging for me because when I listened to the meditation, I beautifully go into La La Land some, after a while, and I'm lost. So, they say that it still goes in, and I believe that. I really do believe that. But I just found that only doing the inner child work through meditation is just not something for me. So I just gathered everything that I've done, different types of
All the
modalities,
tools.
tools, different, like, constellation work as well, meditation as well, so guidance as well. That's very important. Writing, a little bit of art. So
Art,
all
yes, I
those
remember
things,
that. Yeah.
exactly. So it's a combination of many, many different ways to work with the inner child, because I believe that everyone has their favorite way. You know, it's not like everybody will love everything, but before we know how to work, how to integrate our inner child, we need to try it out. So I will guide the participants through different ways of connecting with the inner child, finding the wounds, the belief systems, getting to know the inner child a little bit better, and integrating.
Yeah.
We will focus on two like main things, not things. Um, One of the psychologists, Stephanie Stahl, she's German psychologist. I love her way to work with inner child because she works with the shadow child and with the sun child. So this is when we have the distinction between the unpleasant and, some people call it negative, but basically unpleasant experiences and the pleasant, beautiful experiences. So that's what we will be doing as well. So we will first give a lot of attention to those parts of ours that are needing us, are needing the love, the support, the validation, and in a way, we become the parent. So we start reparenting our inner children. And I cannot tell you which inner children, because everybody will have different inner children coming up and taking over the wheel in the school bus, how I call it. We are supposed to be the driver, but there is so many school children behind us. And from time to time, one or another just jumps and runs to the front and takes over the wheel. So we will get to know our triggers, get to know what happened, and what can we do with it. Because in the end of the day, that's what's all about. How we don't want to get rid of them. We can't. We can't. We want to integrate them. It's literally like that, that village house with many rooms. We want to invite them all, love them all, and yet make sure that we are the boss, that the adult
Hmm.
self, me now, I say what I want and how I want to feel and what I want to do. So that's exactly when we are moving towards becoming more authentic.
I love that.
Yeah. So combination of
Of
many, many
different.
different ways. Mm.
Yeah, I remember we did have dolls. I remember we had drawings, we had meditation. So I think that was one of the pulls as well,
Yeah.
because it wasn't the same every week. It was something different, and
Yeah.
it brought about something, or this different energy within it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so that was what I found really also fun and exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when we do this for ourselves, because I had quite a few questions on, is it just healing ourselves, or are we going to also learn? We can actually, after the session, apply it again on ourselves,
Yeah.
right? It's something that we can continue. Like you said, this is something you can continue to do and become more aware on our own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And not only that, if you are a practitioner of any kind, if you are working with people with different tools, you can use those methods, those techniques as well
Yeah.
to help your clients
Help
as well.
others.
And of
Beautiful.
course your kids as well. I think that, what you just mentioned about that situation with the lady, hiding the car. when we become more aware how we want to be treated,
Hmm.
we will treat our children differently too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because that's basically the reflection of our inner children. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So we take it forward into our lives, and yeah, it's like another step toward wholeness, I would say.
yeah. So I want to open now, guys, the floor to anybody who has questions for Monica. Anything that we haven't kind of covered, anything else you'd like to know about the upcoming workshop. So it's 4 sessions every Monday starting from next week. And each session will be for 2 hours. You will get a recording. So if you cannot make all of them, you will get a recording, but I definitely recommend for you to be there.
Mm,
Live is different because you get that energy of and sharing, and you get kind
yeah,
of that connection with everybody. But if you cannot make one session, at least you will be able to do it again. And sometimes you want to just repeat the and watch it again and kind of do the
yeah,
exercise again for yourself. So
yeah.
you will be able to do that.
And you will
Um,
also get a handout, Maisha. So we will have a
yes.
handout as well with so most of the exercises are also inside there and can
Yeah.
be always repeated. Yeah. Mhm.
Awesome. So does anybody have would like to ask any questions to Monica, or give an example of, is that an inner child that you need to be working on? I think we have some shy people. Or you've been, oh, there we go. Is it so? Evelyn says, Evelyn, you are always a rock star with your questions. Is it possible to fully integrate our inner children and not get triggered? Or is this a lifelong journey of practicing this wholeness?
Okay. So
She's like, let's
I'm,
let's get on with it. Let's
yes. So I think I'm not at the end of my life yet. As for now, we still need to do the course. Honestly speaking, I think if we are not being triggered at all, then either we are monks in a cave somewhere when there is absolutely nothing from the environment that can trigger us, unless it's the cold. But I was told that the monks can regulate the temperature even. So I feel as long as we are having the lives with so many people around us, we may be triggered. We may be triggered because I believe we came here as the soul to grow. And if the life is just milk and honey, I don't know how much we can grow. So we actually grow and evolve by these triggers. Imagine that something was really make you very angry and now you are at peace with it. You just are okay with whatever people say. I think this is really big growth and evolution for our soul. So I would say it is in a way a lifelong journey, but it gets better and easier. And when we are aware and we have the tools, it's not an issue. We just deal with it. It's like with nervous system, basically. Reset. I like to work with nervous system reset as well. We can, I don't think we can always be calm 100% 24/7. I don't think so. It's not about being always calm. It's about riding the wave when it comes, not getting lost, not having to throw a tantrum, becoming aware, oh, this is something I don't like. I don't like how the person is treating me. What does that trigger within me? And then I work on it. And guess what? Either the person disappears from your life, or the person stops triggering you, or they may not change at all, but you will be totally fine. I always say I have one aim in life. I mean, the biggest aim. And this is Maisha, I think you need to write that word down, is to become imperturbable.
Oh,
I love this word.
imperturbable.
Yeah, imperturbable. So nothing and nobody is bothering me. Yeah.
Mm,
So whatever happens, remember our beautiful poem in constellation training, it is what it is, says love. So I'm not there
mm.
yet, but definitely much, much closer than, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. So yeah, Evelyn, I'm afraid it is lifelong journey, but it gets so, so, so much easier. Yeah.
Awesome. So we
Thank
all
you.
learn a new word today.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, while we wait for if there's any more questions, I have a question. We talked a little bit about how, in a relationship, two people will sort of be like 5-year-olds. So when we work on that 5-year-old version of ourselves and kind of make ourselves whole, and yet our spouse or our partner may still be reacting or acting that way, right? How will the reaction shift or change?
Well, so there are a few possibilities. One is the partner jumps on the train and
Mm,
they ask us, what are you doing? Why are you not getting triggered? What happened?
right.
And
They're in
it
shock.
is, yeah, exactly. We are in shock. And it is possible for a little opening that we start communicating. And if they are really interested, they jump on the train. And this is how we grow together.
Mhm.
So that's, of course, the outcome that everybody dreams of. Yeah. Especially if the
Yeah.
relationship is not good. Another possibility is that that gap between us will grow. I
Mhm.
grow, 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 heal, heal, heal. I actually don't bother what my partner says. And the gap is growing. Now is the question. Am I okay with it, with that gap in my relationship? If I'm okay with it, then I just take care of myself and the partner takes care of himself in my case, and we may not have fulfilling relationship, but we kind of stay together for the sake of staying together or for the sake of children. So many people do
Which
that,
happens, yeah.
which
Mm.
happens a lot. And this is when if we are really happy with ourselves and we don't bother, then it's okay for us. I mean, it's okay. But of course, it can be like this, that we want to be happy in a partnership. And that may lead to, I'd rather be alone
Mhm.
than, unhappy. Because if the partner is absolutely not willing to open up and meet us at the 30, 40, 50 years old and not the 5 years old, what can we do?
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens. I've seen it. So I've seen all the versions actually. It does happen that the partner automatically starts changing. Why it happens with some people and with some people it doesn't, I don't know. I really don't
Mm.
know. But it can happen. But it also can happen that the gap is so big that people just decide, okay, I just go my way and you go your way.
Yeah.
So if I'm very, very honest, this can happen as well. But that
Mm.
goes with any healing, okay? So
Yeah.
let's not blame it on the inner child healing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, in the similar way, for example, with your parents or individuals or authority that you still interact with on a day-to-day basis, it can also bring in more harmony, or it could actually bring you
yeah.
closer together as well.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, generally in life, I believe and I see it makes our relationships more harmonious. With a
Mm.
partner, it can go the other way because really, that's a very different scenario.
Yeah.
But we bring more love and acceptance into the life, into the world, and we will be met with that too. So
Yeah.
what we send out, we will receive back. Yeah, just not
Beautiful.
necessary from the same people. That's not always the case. Yeah.
Yeah, true. So, anybody have any more questions regarding inner children, inner child, or the workshop? So, once again, we are having it every Monday. I'm going to look at the dates again, starting from the 13th of April. Every week, 13th, 20th, 27th, and the 4th of May from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Right? If you would
Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
register, please be in touch with us so that we can book you in. I will definitely be taking the class again, and I'm sure some of your students will be repeating because there's nothing like being live and in person as well.
And every
Yeah,
time it is a little bit different because the
that's
group
true.
is different and the group dynamic really, really leads the workshop, whatever is needed. So, of course, we have a program, we have a handout, but based on questions, based on the group that comes together, we always learn, we always grow together. So that's the beauty of the group. And witnessing each other is more healing than when we do it
That's true.
just for ourselves. Yeah.
Beautiful. So it looks like we do. Oh, there is strongly recommended, Josie
Yeah.
says.
Yeah.
And even I know that Chaya, who's here, had a really good experience. She is somewhere. She's also going to be repeating with me. Hello. I see her.
Yeah.
Awesome. So,
Lovely.
I look forward to seeing everybody in this class. Can we do a quick picture if you guys don't mind before we end? Let me remove our spotlight so we can be part of this beautiful
Mm.
group and crowd. So, if you can open, hello there. Oh, beautiful
Hi.
faces. Okay,
Hi. Yeah, now I can see the faces. Yeah.
familiar.
Very familiar, some of you. Yeah. Beautiful.
Awesome. All right. So um smile everyone. Okay, one more page. Don't move. Keep smiling. Yes, I think I got it. Well,
Okay.
thank you guys.
Thank you so
Um
much.
if you have any other questions, please do connect with me or connect with Monica so we can um answer those questions for you. Meanwhile, have a lovely evening, guys.
Yeah.
Monica, any last words?
No, I just hope to see you in 1 week time. Yeah, it's the next Monday, and have a lovely evening. And yeah, thank you so much, Maisha, again for meeting me on Zoom today and
My
coming with
pleasure.
that idea. And I see you soon.
See you soon. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
Monica. Thank you for this wonderful,
Thank you
very
so much.
insightful. This is exactly what I imagined this talk would be about. You've kind of covered every aspect of it. And I'm sure a lot of people are very curious and are excited to join when you come
Mhm.
in March. So,
Yep.
guys, do not miss this opportunity. You don't have to go to KL. She's coming to us on
Yeah.
the 20th, 21st, and 20, 21, 22. And there's only 15 slots. And we would request that you be there for all 3 days. As Monica says, this is something that you're going to heal from when you play those
Yeah.
individual roles as well.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Huge
So
benefit. Really huge benefit. Mhm.
I will leave the last words to you, Monica.
Well, I thank you. I just really thank you for organizing it, Maisha and Era. Thank you, Chaya, for being here. That's the one person that I know as well. That's beautiful. And thank you, everyone, for joining and being curious, being open. And if you have more questions, please feel free to find me through Maisha. I'm happy to answer. She knows I love questions. I love answering questions because the little bit clarity that we share in the world really, really, truly brings us more to peace in a bigger way. Yeah. Peace in our hearts. And how Beth Hellinger said it, one person at a time, one family at a time, one country at a time, and then we have peace in the world. So, with these words, I leave you there. Thank you so much again. And I hope to see you in March in Manila. Thank you.